if you're new, my name is Cassandra, and today I'm just sitting down to talk about my birth plan and answer any questions that I've seen come through regarding baby and birth and all of those things. So currently at filming of this, it is, I think, the 3rd. Yeah, it's June 3rd. I'm 39 weeks. Tomorrow I have my 39-week appointment with my midwife, where I will be setting an induction date as like a just in case kind of a thing. My last pregnancy, I had to be induced. I went way over, and I kind of waited to set an induction date until like I absolutely needed to, and I don't want to do that to myself again. I don't want to go 2 weeks overdue. It was just way too much for me and my body, and I just don't want to have to do that again. So the last 2 appointments I've been talking to my midwife about this, just her kind of giving me all my options, giving me time to think about it, and I've decided to set an induction date for 3 days after my due date. So as of tomorrow, we will have our date set in stone, and that's helped me a lot too, just mentally knowing that like that is the day. If baby does not come before then, that's the day the induction is set. Last time I was so against it being induced, because with my first I had to be induced. That labor was my hardest labor, my most painful labor. I had Pitocin and all of the like kind of normal medical interventions when it comes to having an induction. But last time my induction with my midwife was so hands-off. It was such a completely different experience for me, and all she had to do was break my water. She gave me time to let my body start contracting on its own, and it did, and I didn't have to do Pitocin or anything like that, so I didn't have any of those like really hard, crazy contractions that I was really nervous about. So knowing that that went so well for me last time, I feel okay being induced again if I have to be, just doing the same thing, breaking my water, you know, bouncing on the ball, doing what I need to do, and just kind of letting my body find its rhythm naturally, which is where I really like to be when it comes to my labors. That being said, I would really like to have a natural labor, or like an unmedicated labor. This is obviously my 5th delivery. I've had 2 with epidurals and 2 natural, and I've found that my recovery and like my mental health and everything after having baby has always been better with my natural labors. I don't know if it's because they're just my last 2 children and I just kind of know what I'm doing more, or I know what works for me more. It could be totally unrelated to the epidural, but I've had some really bad experiences with the epidural, and I'm always happy afterwards going naturally. So that's kind of my plan this time. That being said, that's really kind of just my plan. I've had enough labors and enough variety of labors with like inductions, natural, and Pitocin and no Pitocin, and spontaneous labors, and I just kind of don't really go in with that big of a plan. I tend to just go in and do what feels good in the moment. I'm a very easy breezy person. That is my plan. I am hoping to not deliver in a vehicle, because I have had that almost happen to me a couple of times. I have very quick labors, so I get nervous when it comes to a spontaneous labor. Both of my spontaneous labors, I've almost delivered in a vehicle. The induction part is also comforting to me, knowing that I will actually be delivering in a hospital. I don't have to worry about that. I don't have to worry about an hours-long car ride in the or trying to get down to the hospital, and I can just know that everything's taken care of and I will be delivering in the hospital and not in the front seat of my vehicle. That's always really comforting. So there's that. But That being said, I'm just really grateful for this pregnancy. It has flown by. I always have heard people say that, and I feel like I've experienced that too, just feeling like my pregnancy flew by and all of a sudden it's time to deliver. But this time it was like a whole nother level of quick. I mean, I was pregnant literally the entire school year for the kids, and I just feel like in a blink of an eye it was completely over, and now here we are. It's summer and it's time to have this baby. Throughout this pregnancy, I have complained quite a bit about some pelvic pain I've been having. My midwife told me I have this thing, I can't even remember what it's called. I'll put it up on the screen, but I experienced it slightly in my 4th pregnancy, and I was very concerned about having it again this pregnancy, because from what I've heard from all of my large family moms is that once you experience it, it just gets worse and worse and worse with every pregnancy, and it kind of just relates to basically your pelvic floor being really weak, and all of your muscles being stretched and just kind of like used to carrying babies. And it is excruciating. It's excruciating. It's terrible. I've had moments that have definitely caused me tears where like I cannot physically stand, I cannot physically walk. Hopefully the belly band has helped quite a bit with that, and also just resting, slowing down, taking more time to sit. But through all of the complaints and like all of the uncomfortableness and the pain and the heartburn and the nausea and just all of the pregnancy things, I am so grateful that my body has been able to carry 5 children to term and you know, house them safely. That is the biggest thing. I'm so grateful for it. I feel really at peace with things. I feel really good heading into this labor. I've had moments of like pure anxiety, but I feel like I've really like calmed myself down, and I feel really solid. I feel really prepared heading into this labor, which is something that I really didn't think I was going to have. I remember with my last pregnancy, I was riddled with anxiety heading up to labor and delivery, but I think that was also because I went so far past my due date. It was just making me feel really uneasy. So I feel really good in me and my husband's decision to set an induction date just for a couple days after the due date, not giving myself a lot of time to overthink things or get like riddled with anxiety like I did last time. And I feel really good with that decision. I feel really solid in it, and I'm just really grateful that I'm feeling so solid with this being like my last labor and delivery. I was really praying this pregnancy to like have a lot of peace with it, and I'm happy that right here at the tail end I'm really getting that, and I'm really feeling solid about it. Of course, I still have a couple of days and anxiety can kind of rear its head, but so far I'm feeling really solid, and I'm so unbelievably grateful for it. So just kind of really chatty today, just talking about like thoughts, feelings, answering a lot of questions that I've seen come in kind of regarding that, like how I'm feeling, where I'm at like mentally and all of the things. And I feel really, really good. I'm really grateful for it, and I love to look back and reflect. I do it like as I'm laying in bed every single night. I like to look back and reflect, because even when you feel like you've had a really crappy day, when you're actually laying there and you think about the reality of the day, sometimes you realize it wasn't as bad as you felt like it was. And that's kind of what I've done at the end of this pregnancy, just kind of looking back and being like, yeah, I definitely had some hard moments for sure, or I had some hard weeks for sure with like the nausea in the beginning, or being really tired here at the end, dealing with like some pelvic instability and some pelvic floor issues and some pain and a lot of discomfort and tears at times. And you can feel like, oh my gosh, this is just terrible, I am miserable. But like really sitting back and reflecting on it as a whole, I feel really good about it. And it could be because it's almost done, and I know that it's almost done, so I'm like, oh, it wasn't that bad. But I would rather have that attitude at the end here than be like, oh my gosh, it was terrible, I was miserable the whole time, I hated it. So I feel really good in that reflection, just kind of like really bringing myself back down to reality. And I'm really happy that I'm able to enjoy these last few days. That being said, I guess thanks for staying down and listening to me ramble today about my birth plan and kind of where I'm feeling. And I guess that's really it. I didn't really know what to say to sit down in this video, so it was just really rambly. I didn't really take any notes or anything like I normally would have, but I figured I would just turn the camera on and just kind of start yapping and see what comes out. So that being said, I hope you guys are having a good day. I hope maybe you enjoyed this video. If not, no worries. I'll catch you in another one, and I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Okay, bye.